The beautiful ships of the Helios Dominion were dying. From her high place above the green world of Helios Prime, the young queen watched the screens. Her heart felt cold. Bright flashes filled the darkness of space where her people's ships had been just moments before. Each flash meant lives ended, ships shattered like thin glass. Beside her stood the chief scientist, a man not much older than herself. His face was pale. "They are too strong, Majesty," he whispered, his voice tight with fear. "Our weapons, they barely scratch their holes. Our shields fail too easily." On the main screen, the enemy swarm moved. They were many, their ships dark and sharp-looking, like giant insects made of metal. Their weapons glowed a sickly green, blasting apart the elegant curved ships of the Helios fleet with terrible ease. The Dominion ships fought bravely, firing beams of light, but the enemy ships absorbed the hits or simply dodged. It wasn't a battle. It was a slow, crushing defeat. Admiral Ray Dawson's face appeared on another screen. He looked tired, old. "Queen Chloe," he said, his voice rough. "The second defensive line is broken. We are losing ships faster than we can count them. Cannot hold them back from the planet much longer." The sound of alarms blared behind him. The Queen, Chloe Vance, gripped the edge of her chair until her knuckles turned white. Below her, millions lived on the peaceful world. The thought of those dark ships reaching the surface of what the invaders would do, ... It froze her blood. "There must be something," she pleaded, looking desperately at the scientist. "Anything." The scientist, Dr. Eris Thorne, swallowed hard. His mind raced, searching old records, forgotten data. Then his eyes widened slightly. "There, ... There is a legend, Majesty. It's almost a myth. Data fragments from ancient deep space probes. They spoke of a world, far out on the edge of known space. A world unlike any other. They called it ... a death world." Admiral Dawson scoffed, his image flickering. "Deathworld. Fairy tales. We need real weapons, not stories." But Chloe held up a hand, silencing him. Hope, however thin, was all she had. "What about it, Doctor? How does the legend help us now?" Thorne spoke faster now. The probes suggested life existed there. Life that survived conditions impossible for any Dominion citizen. Crushing gravity, poisonous air, violent weather, predators everywhere. If such beings exist, if they have reached the stars, their strength, ... their resilience, ... He trailed off, the idea seeming too wild even to him. Chloe Vance looked back at the screens. Another Dominion ship vanished in a silent explosion. Below, the blue-green curve of her homeworld seemed terribly fragile. Made her decision. "Send a signal," she ordered, her voice suddenly strong. "Send it everywhere. Use all power. Tell them. Tell anyone who might hear. Helios Prime falls. We beg for aid. Send our location. Tell them we are dying." It was a shot in the darkest dark. The message flew out, a final cry for help flung across the stars. The Helios fleet continued its doomed fight, buying seconds, minutes. Admiral Dawson closed his eyes in resignation. Dr. Thorne stared at his instruments, praying to forces he didn't believe in. Far beyond the edge of the raging battle, space twisted. A ship dropped out of its faster-than-light travel. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't elegant. It looked like a solid block of rough metal, scarred and functional. The letters "Ed Starward Bound" were stamped on its side. Inside, Commander Lena Hayes watched the main screen. Scattered wreckage and the bright flashes of combat filled the view. "Sensors confirm massive fleet engagement," reported her officer. "Multiple vessels destroyed. Energy signatures unknown." And intense. Ben Carter, the specialist for talking to new species, leaned forward. "Commander, I'm picking up a repeating signal on all bands. It's a distress call, it says. Helios Prime falls. We beg for aid." Lena Hayes nodded slowly. "Open a channel. Standard first contact greeting. Low power? Let's see who answers." A signal pulsed out from the Starward Bound. A simple, peaceful hail. It reached the battered communications hub on the biggest remaining Helios ship. The officer there, already terrified by the relentless enemy attack, saw the new signal appear. He saw the strange, aggressive shape of the unknown vessel on his scanner. He saw its origin point flicker, A location tagged in old, fragmented files with a single, terrifying word. Deathworld. Panic seized him. He didn't hear the peaceful greeting. He only saw the monstrous ship and the dreaded label. He slammed his hand down on the emergency broadcast button, his voice shrill with terror, echoing across every surviving Helios channel. Unknown warship detected. Origin, Deathworld Terra. Repeat, Deathworlders have emerged. Deathworlders have emerged. On the bridge of the starward bound, Lena Hayes frowned. Deathworlders. Ben Carter looked equally confused. Down in the ship's security section, Marcus Wright just checked his weapon, his face unreadable. And out in the dark, the insectoid invaders paused their relentless advance, their many eyes focused on the new signal, the new ship, and the strange, fearful message. Deathworlders have emerged. The heavy silence on the starward bound was broken only by the hum of the engines. Commander Lena Hayes stared at the main screen showing the panicked Helios message repeating, Deathworlders have emerged. Ben Carter, the man who talked to new species, looked worried. They're terrified of us before we even say hello, he said. Lena made a decision. We need to talk. Directly. Ben, prepare a shuttle. Keep the message simple. Peace. Help. She turned to Marcus Wright, the head of security. Marcus, you go with Ben. Keep it calm. Look strong, but don't threaten. Marcus just gave a short nod, his face serious. The human shuttle, small and tough-looking, flew towards the biggest Helios ship. It was badly damaged. Inside the shuttle, Ben practiced simple words of peace. Marcus checked his gear, his movements efficient and controlled. They landed inside the Helios ship. The air felt thin and smelled strange. WADA soldiers waited, their weapons pointed nervously at the shuttle door. They were slender with pale skin and looked exhausted and scared. When the door opened, Ben stepped out first, hands open and empty. Peace, he said clearly. We come to help. Marcus followed, stood tall, his shoulders broad, muscles clear even under his suit. He moved with an easy confidence in the ship's gravity, which felt light to him. The Helios soldiers flinched. They whispered, eyes wide, staring at the humans' solid builds and steady eyes. To them, the humans looked impossibly strong, almost frightening. They were led to a large room full of plants, like a garden under a dome. Admiral Dawson and Dr. Thorne met them there. The Admiral looked tired and suspicious. The scientists looked fascinated but afraid. Queen Chloe watched from a screen high on the wall, her young face tense. Ben spoke slowly, using simple words. We heard your call for help. We are from Earth. We want to stop the attackers. Lena's voice came from the shuttle, translated through Ben's device. We offer aid. Admiral Dawson was doubtful. Or one ship against that swarm. You look different, ... Stronger. Is it true? Are you from a ... death world? He said the word like it was something terrible. Before Ben could answer, something happened. A small, bright red fruit fell from a nearby tree, landing near Ben's foot. Without thinking, Ben bent down and picked it up, turned it in his hand, curious about the strange plant. Suddenly, Dr. Thorne gasped, his face turning even paler. A Helios soldier choked out a warning. No, don't. Thorne pointed a shaking finger. Commander Hayes, that fruit, it is deadly poison. Just touching it can burn skin, eating it. It kills in moments. Drop it. Ben froze, the fruit halfway to his mouth, where he had been about to take a small bite. He looked at the bright red fruit, then at the horrified faces of the Helios people. Slowly, carefully, he took a tiny bite. He chewed thoughtfully. The Helios soldiers recoiled, expecting him to collapse. Ben swallowed. He looked slightly surprised. Ha! It's peppery. A bit spicy. We have fruits like this back home. He took another, bigger bite. Not bad, actually. Finished the whole fruit. The silence in the garden room was thick and heavy. Admiral Dawson stared, his mouth slightly open. Dr. Thorne looked like he might faint. On the screen, Queen Chloe leaned forward, her eyes huge. The soldiers lowered their weapons slightly, stunned disbelief replacing fear. Ben wiped juice from his chin. Earth is tough, he explained simply. Strong gravity, big storms, animals that hunt you. Poisonous plants are common. Our bodies, they had to get tough to survive there. He gestured with the core of the fruit. This is nothing. Earth has worse. Marcus, standing silently nearby, walked over to a bent metal support beam near a damaged wall panel. Several Helios crew had struggled earlier to move it. Marcus gripped the thick metal bar. With a grunt of effort, his muscles straining visibly under his suit, he bent the heavy beam back into place, as if it were soft clay. He let go. The beam stayed straight. He turned back to the stunned group. His face was calm. "Fixing things," he stated. Admiral Dawson found his voice, but it was weak. You call this normal?" I gestured at Ben, who had just eaten poison, and Marcus, who had bent metal. Lena's voice came through the translator again, clear and firm. "Admiral, on our world, it is normal. We survive, every day, against everything." Queen Chloe's voice cut in from the screen, quiet but intense. Her eyes were fixed on Lena's image. "Can you fight?" she asked. "Can you fight them?" Lena met the young queen's gaze directly. "Commander," she said, her voice steady and strong. "We evolve to fight, every single day, against anything that threatens us." The victory from the poison fruit did not last long. The enemy commander sent a new message. It was not words of peace, it was a demand. "Surrender everything. Give up Helios Prime. Give up every world. Give up the people, or be destroyed." The voice was cold and cruel. It ignored the humans completely. The invaders saw only weak prey. On the starward bound, Commander Lena Hayes studied the large gas giant planet nearby. Its swirling clouds filled the screen. She saw a chance. "We need to draw them in," she told her crew. "Lead them close to that giant planet. Its heavy pull will slow their ships down like mud." Ben Carter looked worried. "It means we go in first. Right into the middle of them. They will shoot at us." "A lot." Lena nodded. "Our ship is built for hard hits, and theirs are not. We take the beating." The Helios fleet hides behind the big planet's moons. When the enemy is slow and bunched up, the Helios ships attack from far away. Long shots. Admiral Dawson heard the plan over the communication link. His voice was shocked. "You're crazy. Your ship cannot survive that firepower. They will tear you apart." Marcus Wright spoke for the first time in the meeting. "Our ship can take it." "Can yours?" His voice was flat. Dawson had no answer. Queen Chloe Vance spoke from her palace. Her voice was quiet but firm. "We will do it. We will be ready. Commander Hayes, good luck." She trusted the humans. The starward bound moved. It flew fast towards the enemy swarm near the gas giant. I did not hide. It fired small weapons at the enemy ships. It's not enough to hurt them badly, just enough to annoy them, just enough to make them angry. It worked. The enemy ships turned. Like a swarm of angry bees, they chased the single human vessel. They fired their powerful green weapons. The blasts hit the starward bound. The ship shook hard. Alarms sounded inside. Crew members grabbed hold of their seats. Lights flickered, but the ship held. The thick armor absorbed the blasts. Systems reported damage, but not destruction. Shields holding at 60% yelled an officer. "Hull integrity strong." Another hit rocked them. 50%. It was rough, but the ship flew on, leading the enemy deeper into the planet's heavy gravity. Then, a new threat. Small pods shot out from the enemy ships. They slammed onto the starward bound's hull like metal ticks. They started cutting through the outer doors. Boarding pods. Marcus Wright was already moving. Security teams. Positions. SEAL Section 3. His voice was calm, like this was just another drill. He ran down a corridor, his weapon ready. Other security people followed him. The first door blew open. Strange, insect-like warriors poured through. They were tall, with hard shells and sharp limbs. They hissed, raising weapons that glowed with the same green energy. Marcus didn't wait. He fired his weapon. It wasn't a beam of light. It was a solid metal slug. It hit the first invader hard. The creature staggered back. The humans fired together. The sound was loud and sharp in the metal corridor. The invaders fired back. Green bolts hit human soldiers. They grunted in pain. Some fell, but they didn't stop. They got back up. They fired again. Their suits sealed the burns. They fought through the hurt. Marcus moved like lightning. He ducked under a green blast. He slammed the butt of his weapon into an invader's head. There was a loud crack. The creature dropped. Another lunged at him with a sharp blade. Marcus grabbed its limb. He twisted hard. Something snapped. The invaders screeched. Marcus threw it against the wall. It didn't get up. It was not pretty fighting. It was fast, brutal, and noisy. Metal hit hard shells. Slugs punched holes. Humans yelled, invaders hissed. The humans used the tight space, their strength, their speed. They fought like their lives depended on it, because they did. They fought like they were back on Earth, facing a deadly predator, because they were. On the Helios flagship, they watched the feed from inside the human ship. Admiral Dawson and Dr. Thorne stared, their faces pale. They saw humans take hits that would kill one of their own instantly and keep fighting. They saw Marcus Wright break an invader's limb like dry wood. They saw the terrifying speed, the sheer refusal to fall. They... They are winning, Dr. Thorne whispered, amazed and horrified. Dawson just nodded slowly, his earlier doubt gone, replaced by a new kind of fear. They are, he breathed. Lena Hayes watched her screens. The enemy ships were tightly packed now, struggling against the gas giant's pull. Now, she ordered. From behind the giant planet's moons, the surviving Helios ships appeared. They fired together. Bright beams of light lanced out across space. They hit the slow, clustered enemy ships. The invaders, focused only on the starward bound, were caught completely by surprise. Ship after enemy ship exploded in silent, fiery bursts of light. The trap had worked. The battle had turned. The last enemy ship vanished in a flash of light. The attack was over. Helios Prime was safe. On the planet below, and on the surviving ships, cheers erupted. People hugged each other, crying with relief. Bright lights flashed in celebration across the dark space near the planet. On the Helios flagship, Admiral Dawson let out a long breath. He looked at the image of the starward bound, scarred, but still flying. They did it, he said quietly. Dr. Thorne nodded, his eyes wide. They truly are... different. Queen Chloe Vance appeared on all screens. Her face was tired but happy. People of Helios, she announced, her voice strong. We are saved. Thanks to the brave humans of Earth, we owe them our lives. More cheers followed her words. Commander Lena Hayes watched the celebrations on her screen. Her crew smiled, relieved. Ben Carter looked pleased. Marcus Wright just cleaned his weapon, his face calm. But Lena knew it wasn't that simple. She saw the looks some Helios people gave them even now. Not just thanks. It was fear hidden behind the smiles. Later, in the quiet halls of the Helios Palace, Admiral Dawson spoke to Queen Chloe. His voice was low and serious. Majesty, they saved us, yes. But look what they did. Their ship took hits that would destroy our best vessels. Their soldiers fought those creatures hand to dash hand. In one, they broke them like toys. He shook his head. What if they decide we are the threat next? Their normal is terrifying. How do we stand against that? Dr. Thorne agreed, though he was fascinated. Their biology is incredible. Strength, speed, poison resistance, ... But yes, Majesty, the power they have, ... It is frightening. Back on the starward bound, Lena discussed the same problem with Ben and Marcus. We won the battle, Lena said. Now we face the fear we caused. They see monsters, not saviors. Ben leaned forward. We need to talk to them, show them we want peace. Explain, Earth wasn't easy. We had to be strong to survive there. We aren't looking for war. Marcus looked up from checking his gear. Fear keeps enemies away, he stated simply. Sometimes fear is useful. They respect strength now. That's good. Lena sighed. Ben wanted friendship. Marcus saw the value in being feared. She had to find a path somewhere in the middle. We need a solution, she said, before the fear turns into something worse. Queen Chloe Vance requested a private meeting. Only Lena and Ben came to the palace, leaving Marcus on the ship. They met Chloe in a small room. She looked young, but very determined. Commander Hayes, Chloe began, her eyes direct. Coup Dominion is grateful, truly. But Admiral Dawson is right. Gratitude fades. Fear remains. I see how my people look at you now. They see power they cannot understand. Lena nodded. We know. We don't want to be feared. We want to help." "I believe you," Chloe said. "But belief is not enough for a queen. I need to protect my people. Not just from old enemies, but from new dangers." And she took a deep breath. "I need to protect them from fear of you." Ben looked confused. "How majesty," Chloe stood up. "I offer you a place. Not just as friends. Not just as saviors who leave. I offer you a place inside the Helios Dominion." She saw their surprise. "Become our guardians. Our shield. The shield of Helios." She explained quickly. "Your strength protects us. Your ships patrol our borders. In return, you get a home here. Resources, technology, help for Earth, a place among the stars. Not as conquerors, as protectors, partners." Lena stared at the young queen. It was a huge idea. Risky. Joining their futures together. "You trust us that much?" Lena asked. Chloe met her gaze. "I trust that you saved us when no one else could. I trust that you understand strength comes with responsibility. And," she added quietly, "I trust that fear can be turned into safety if we are smart. Be our shield. Help us build a safer future. Together." Silence filled the small room. Ben looked amazed. Lena thought hard. It was a way forward. A way to turn fear into security. But it meant binding Earth's future to this fragile, beautiful dominion. She looked at Ben, then back at the brave young queen. The galaxy had changed. This was a new path, a dangerous, hopeful path. The offer from Queen Chloe hung in the air. Commander Lena Hayes brought it back to Earth. People argued. Some were excited. They saw new technology, a place among the stars, and safety. Others were afraid. They worried about losing Earth's way. They worried it was a trick. Some just didn't want to share their home with strangers, but the promise was strong. Help for Earth, advanced knowledge, a safe place, far from home. Protection for a people who needed it. After much talk, Earth agreed. Carefully. Ben Carter helped make the rules clear. Protection, yes, but no taking over. Mutual help. Earth would be the shield, not the master. On Helios Prime, a huge day arrived. People gathered everywhere on the planet and in ships. Queen Chloe Vance stood tall on a bright platform. Lena Hayes stood beside her wearing a new uniform. Ben Carter and Marcus Wright watched nearby. Chloe spoke to the crowds. "Today is a new beginning. Helios Prime is safe. But safety needs strength. We found strength we never imagined. From Earth, the humans saved us. Now, we join with them." She turned to Lena. "Commander Hayes, the Helios Dominion welcomes Earth. As our protectorate, as our shield." She pointed to the starward bound, hovering above. "From this day, this brave ship is no longer just Earth's. It is the guardian of us all. I name it the HDS Sentinel, and Commander Lena Hayes. I name you the first human marshal of the Helios Protectorate Forces." Cheers erupted again, louder than before. The ship's name changed on all screens. HDS Sentinel. Lena saluted the queen, her face serious. The job was huge. Things changed fast. Humans set up small bases near Helios borders. New ships were built. They looked different. They had the tough, strong look of Earth ships, but also some of the smooth lines of Helios design. They were built to last and to fight. Marcus Wright started training soldiers. Not just humans now. Helios soldiers joined too. The training was hard. Marcus showed them how to move fast, how to hit hard, how to take a hit and keep going. He wasn't nice about it. Faster, he would yell. Stronger, that hit wouldn't scratch a bug back home. The Helios soldiers struggled. They got tired. They got bruised. But they learned. Slowly, they got tougher. They started to stand straighter, move with more purpose. A new kind of soldier was born. Ben Carter worked just as hard, but differently. Talked to people, explained Earth. He showed pictures of tall mountains, deep oceans, and strange Earth animals. He explained why humans were strong. Not magic, he said. Survival. Our world is tough. We had to be tougher. He listened to Helios' fears. He helped humans understand Helios' ways. He built bridges with words, trying to turn fear into respect, maybe even trust. News traveled. Across the stars, other peoples heard about the Deathworlders. They heard about the humans who ate poison fruit and broke invaders like twigs. They heard how these humans had joined the Helios Dominion as its shield. Reactions were mixed. Some were curious. Some wanted to meet these strong newcomers. Many were deeply afraid. Pirates who once raided Helios space suddenly found other places to go. The name Deathworlder carried weight now. On the bridge of the HDS Sentinel, Lena Hayes looked out. Below, Helios Prime glowed green and blue, peaceful and safe. Beyond, the endless stars glittered. Ben Carter stood beside her. "It's a start," Ben said softly. "A long road ahead, but a good start." Lena nodded. "A new road. For all of us." Down in the security area, Marcus Wright checked his weapon one more time. His face was calm, watchful, ready. In her palace high above the planet, Queen Chloe Vance watched the Sentinel on her screen. Relief warmed her heart. Her people were safe, but a small chill of worry remained. She had brought a lion into her garden to scare away the wolves. The wolves were gone. Now she lived with the lion. Humanity wasn't just here. They had emerged onto the stage. They were strong, they were fierce, and their future was tied to Helios. The galaxy watched and held its breath. What would the Deathworlders do next? Only time would tell.